Tonight's broadcast is made possible by a generous donation from the Berkeley Heights 5K charity road race and fitness walk. To learn more, go to berkeleyheigts5k.com.
Welcome to This Week in Berkeley Heights, brought to you in part by thealternativepress.com, Berkeley Heights' daily online newspaper, owned and operated by local residents. I'm Michael Shapiro, owner and publisher of thealternativepress.com and president of the Rotary Club of Berkeley Heights. Each week, This Week in Berkeley Heights will bring you a roundup of the latest news in Berkeley Heights and a look ahead at events around town. Later on in this broadcast, in the community segment, we will be speaking with Berkeley Heights Mayor Joe Bruno. And in our business segment, we'll be speaking with Scott Demerit and Ann Christensen from Massage Envy in Berkeley Heights. There will be a special election on Tuesday, May 7th for the citizens of Berkeley Heights to determine whether or not Berkeley Aquatics, BAC, can hook its planned aquatic facility up to the township's sewer system. The council has denied this request in the past. According to Councilman Robert Woodruff, the election is expected to cost taxpayers around $25,000, which was not budgeted for. BAC would be a commercial swim training facility in a residential area in Warren Township. Berkeley Heights maintains the contract it has with the Warren Township Sewerage Authority is only meant for residential use. The Township Council previously denied the application. The proposed amendment to the already existing agreement with the WTSA would require 17 hookups and an increased flow for a total of 6,000 gallons per day. The agreement with the WTSA only allocates 3 connections with a total flow of 1,080 gallons per day. The Township Planning Board on Wednesday continued to hear testimony by First Hartford Realty Corporation experts about a CVS pharmacy the firm wishes to construct in the shopping center located at the corner of Springfield Avenue and Lone Pine Drive. One of the major controversies of the application, however, lies just outside the site where the proposed pharmacy would be located. As stated by Joseph Murray, the attorney for First Hartford, at the beginning of Wednesday's hearing, the Berkeley Heights Township Council ultimately will rule on the realignment and road configuration of Lone Pine Drive in the vicinity of the proposed CVS site after the Planning Board makes its ruling on the CVS site plan. Murray said Wednesday he wishes to continue the hearings on his client's application, so most of the issues with that proposal will be out of the way before the governing body makes its ruling. There seems to be some confusion and misunderstanding, however, between township officials and the applicant about what is expected of the outcome of the Lone Pine Drive renovations. Gary Dean, a traffic engineer testifying for First Hartford, said Wednesday it was his understanding, after reviewing a set of plans prepared by township planner Michael Mistretta, that the township preferred a median down the center of Lone Pine Drive leading up to the future CVS site, with a left turn prohibited from the site. Mayor Joe Bruno, a member of the planning board, said, however, that Lone Pine Drive improvements would not take any more land than necessary from the area, and a left turn would not be prohibited. Township Council President Kevin Hall, also a member of the board, at first said the plan favored by the council included a median and signage requiring a right-hand turn near Benham's Garage on Springfield Avenue. Dean, however, said it was his reading of the plans he saw that a dedicated right-hand turn lane only would be included from Lone Pine Drive onto Springfield Avenue for future developments on the site and not as part of the CVS plan. Murray said his client was willing to let the chips fall where they may, even though his client did not agree with the council-favored plan, in order to get preliminary approval and hammer out the details later. Following a recess during which Murray discussed the proposals with his experts, Dean said CVS was willing to include the most recent Mistretta proposal as a convertible plan, with a median in the center of Lone Pine Drive, with a single lane for both right and left-hand turns exiting the CVS area when the pharmacy is built, and providing for erection of a dedicated right-hand turn lane in the future. Also after the recess, Hall also retracted his previous statement and said the council-favored plan was closer to the one outlined above by Dean. As part of Berkeley Heights' Avenue of Patriots initiative, U.S. flags will be flown from VFW Post 6259 and along Springfield Avenue. The flags will fly from Memorial Day weekend until the Veterans Day ceremony, commemorating our true patriots. Show your support of all of our veterans and be part of this inaugural event. Contribute a flag. For more information, contact the Berkeley Heights Beautification Committee. We'll be right back after this short commercial break to speak with Mayor Joe Bruno. Welcome back to This Week in Berkeley Heights. Joining us here in the studio is Mayor Joe Bruno of Berkeley Heights. Joe, good to see you.
Mike, thank you for having me.
Absolutely. We have quite a bit to cover. We're probably not going to get to all of it today, but one of the things that I think people really want to know about is the secession from Union County. Thought maybe we could start a little bit with that and then work into BAC, which is the hot topic of the day. So.
Yep. Well, the secession, Mike, from Union County is a real, I think, a simple concept for us. For years now we've been part of Union County, and then for the most part we've been very happy with it. But in the last 5-10 years, we've just seen a pattern of spending that is not, we have a philosophical difference, and we started looking into other counties if we belong to another county, and we happen to be in the right spot because we abut to Somerset and to Morris County. So if we went to Morris County, our taxes would be significantly less. So then we started looking at the things they're spending money on, and I think we need to define what government should be. I think that's a problem in the country right now. Government can't be everything to everybody, and at some point you have to balance your budget. We do it. You do it as a businessman. I do it as a businessman. I have to do it as a township because I can't print money. And it just seems like that in Union County, there's a lot of things that they're spending money on that isn't, government related. Such as, we run a hospital in Ronald's Hospital, which is located here in Berkeley Heights. But should we be in the hospital business if we're running a $20 million loss? We spend a lot of money on a golf course. Should we be in the golf course business when there are people that, if you privatize it, instead of losing money, they would make a profit from it, and you would get a rateable. Even if they don't make a profit from it, you'd still get the rateable if somebody else owned it. Same with the hospital. So we started looking at things like that, and we just said that we're not going to change how Union County does their budget, and that people elect them to spend their money. And we just don't want to be part of it. And we don't have any representation out here, and we haven't had it for years. So we're just saying that it's, we want to be able to choose to belong to a county that has our philosophies in mind, and that right now that's Morris County.
Mm-hmm. And what's the process in terms of secession? How does it work?
Well, we're going to have meetings in May, town hall meetings, not the regular town meetings, but town hall meetings, so we can bring people in and talk about, answer their questions, get their questions and get answers for them, but answer the questions they have, and then it'll be on the November ballot as a question, and the residents of Berkeley Heights will get a chance to vote on it. Now, that doesn't mean because we vote to secede, it happens right away. We then have to petition the legislature, because that's who sets up the county government. But we feel confident that we can at least get our voices heard down there. And again, depending upon this election this year, it could be significant voices being heard, or the regular voices being heard. But we definitely, it's the right time to start taking action. We've been told by many people that it's impossible. I don't subscribe to impossible, because I'm old enough to remember when President Kennedy said we'd put a man on the moon in 10 years in 1961, and everybody thought that was impossible. So if you don't try, you'll never know. So if it's impossible, well, I'll talk till I'm hoarse about it, and if it doesn't happen, we'll fight the good fight and see where it takes us.
Yeah, and I think one of the big issues right now in Berkeley Heights is BAC, Berkeley Aquatic Center, and I was wondering if you could talk a little bit about that and kind of what your position is on the issue, and and I know that there's the election is May 7th, so it's coming up. This broadcast will come out shortly after the League of Women Voters debate on April 24th. But I was wondering if you could talk a little bit about it and your thoughts about it.
Well, yeah, real simply, the BAC is an organization, been in Berkeley Heights now for a number of years. They bought land in Warren County, and they want to open up a facility in Warren County, which is fine. I mean, they could buy land wherever. But their sewage has to come to Berkeley Heights. It could go to Warren, but it would be a really high cost if Warren had to buy a pump station and pump it into the Warren facility. It's much easier to pump into ours. And the area that they're in, if it were residential, would be granted the permission to pump in through the existing agreement. However, it's not residential, it's commercial with a different flow. It has chlorine in it. Chlorinated water, as everybody knows, kills bacteria. Our system works on bacteria. That's how we treat our water, with bacteria, and it's a process called chloramination, where we actually put more chlorine in and then neutralize it with ammonia, or it could be the other way around. I'm not a chemist. But at the end result, we pump out crystal clear water back into the Passaic River, and we have to do that by the DEP standards. This would compromise that system, and it's 1.3 million gallons of water that they have up there that's going to be connected, not flowed every day, but in an emergency, if they flowed it or sent it to us, it would destroy our plant. I was elected with a lot of responsibilities, but the chief responsibility I have is to protect the citizens and the assets of the township of Berkeley Heights. That sewer plant is a moneymaker. We do share with Warren on it for residential. We share it a little bit with New Providence for residential and Long Hill for residential, and we like shared service agreements, but not if it's going to destroy our plant. We've spent since 2001 $8,150,000 in bonds to keep that plant running, just normal wear and tear, replenishing it, improving it, and the taxpayers of Berkeley Heights, they foot those bills, and they pay that in their taxes with a bond issue. We're paying that back. So it's our sewer plant. We should have the right to say who goes there. And again, if it's residential, we're fine. We said no, not once, but twice. So this referendum, the BAC got some people in town, about 6 people, I guess, maybe a little more, to take petitions, and they got the necessary signatures. It's a gray area, but the Faulkner Act says that there are certain things that are not referendable, and contracts are one, but it's a very, very gray area. So we went before the judge. We fought it based on that, and the judge said, well, you got enough signatures, so I'm going to allow the election. She did not rule, however, whether it is a referendable item. She's going to wait till after the election to rule on that, and that's her prerogative. She's a judge. And I know, you don't fight judges. At least mayors don't fight judges, because there is that separation. But I've been accused of dragging my feet on it, and again, not true. When we had 10 days from her order to schedule election, it took 13 days to do, all along, because we have to schedule with Union County, and all along we kept the judge posted on it. Our attorney started working on it the next day. They kept their attorney posted on it. And we were 3 days past the date, and I was told by somebody that I was cited for contempt of court because we were late. And I never heard from Judge Cassidy on that. So if she did, it got lost in the mail. I mean, I never got a phone call because she was made aware of it. Again, we have to schedule with Union County. We don't have our own voting machines here. We didn't drag our feet. We started the next day, and it takes a little time to schedule day, especially so close to the primary. This date falls right between when the judge ruled and pretty much when the primary date is, and you can't have an election, I think, 30 days before a primary. So, it was a lot of logistics that Union County and the township had to work out, and we worked it out, and the election will be May 7th. It is the one chance, though, for people to register their vote either way. It's out of our hands. I mean, it's out of my hands. I mean, now I'm just a regular voter like everybody else, and so this decision will be in the hands of the voters, but obviously, I still think it shouldn't be allowed to operate. It's too much of a chance that something could go wrong. And if it did, it would cost the taxpayers of Berkeley Heights a large amount of money to put it back online.
Under the BAC's proposal, do they pay for the flow, or is the flow not paid for by them?
No, they pay for the flow. I mean, they would pay for it just like any other residential customer. They have approximately 20 units assigned to them, so they would pay for the hookup, about $86,000 for the hookup, and a yearly charge of about $6,000 to $7,000 a year. And so, I mean, there is incentive there for me to say, yeah, bring the flow. I got $86,000, and they bring that up. And so, still, why would I say no? I'm saying no to money, which most politicians don't say no to grants and things like that. But it's just not worth it if something happens. And if they decide to sell it to a developer and they put homes there, we'll still make our money because residential flow will be permitted, and that's what we're geared to treat residential flow, not commercial flow.
Mm-hmm. Is some of the concern that it's precedent setting, so that if BAC were to get the rights to do it, that other corporations could then also have the right to do something like that?
Well, when you think about it, if they're allowed to do this, then anybody with an interest in Berkeley Heights or has that people that either work for them or a member of an organization that have people that live in Berkeley Heights could get them to do a petition, and then why would you elect government to sign contracts? I mean, We sign these contracts and agreements because we're in the know. We know we think we know what's best for Berkeley Heights. And the voters say, we're going to elect you to represent us. That's what representation is. Or else we put everything on a ballot, everything on a referendum, and you wouldn't have to have government. Every year, anybody who wants to put some up there, like a board, like a board of directors. Every year they have you vote for your board of directors in any given company, and then they have shareholders' votes, and the board says we recommend a vote against this. You can put everything on there. If it passes, it passes. So we're elected to do that. And again, we've done our research on this. We know that what it would cost to do it, and at a block party or at a fun fair or a 5K race, when somebody puts a petition in front of you and says, sign this, it's good for the kids. If somebody said, listen, we want to put a baseball field in this area, it's good for the kids, I'd probably sign it, or at least years ago I would have, until I found that first base was going to be on my front doorstep. Then I'm saying, okay, I'm for the kids, but I don't want you there. People bought houses in that area, and if you go up to that part of Emerson Drive, it's one block off of, 1 or 2 blocks off of Hillcrest. It's a beautiful residential area, and you look out the backyards there, and you see trees, you see country. It looks like the house at the edge of the forest. And now they're going to look at a 51,000 square foot building. How big is 51,000 square foot? If you just divide it by 320 feet, which is the size of a regulation football field from end zone to back of the end zone to the back of the end zone, it wouldn't fit. So it wouldn't fit in Giant Stadium, and it's going to be a story and a half high. That's not what people want to look like in a residential area. Their values, I think, would go down, and again, it's not what they bargained for.
And that was interesting because the Alternative Press, we got a letter to the editor, and they were saying it's not just a NIMBY issue of like not in my backyard, but it's also an issue of that would anybody in Berkeley Heights want to have a facility like that basically in their backyard. They were making the point that it's not the typical kind of thing of, hey, there's this nursing home that's coming in or whatever. It's a big facility that would not only potentially impact home prices, but also the look and feel of the neighborhood to a significant extent. I think that on the BAC side, they say, well, look, we're going to be providing this facility for all the kids that are going to be swimming, and we're going to provide so much greater good for everybody. Do you have any kind of take on their argument that, look, what we're doing is we're providing this world-class facility for kids to swim in, giving opportunities for local kids to become excellent, perhaps Olympic swimmers, and it's almost, I think one of their arguments is it's almost like saying no to having an Olympic pool, an Olympic facility in a town. Any thoughts about that?
Yeah. Again, let me be quite candid about this. I think the BAC program is a good program. I've never ever said it wasn't. And I know the principal owner very well enough. I should say very well enough. Good guy. Really believes in the swim program. But there's a right place to put places, and there's a wrong place to put places. This is the wrong place. This facility is, I believe, and somebody will correct me if I'm wrong. I'm sure they'll write another letter to the editor. But I believe that the facility is bigger than the Olympic training facility, and that's monumental. And the other fact is there are places to put this that would be an enhancement to a community. I look at Route 22 in Plainfield, where the Kmart and Pathmark were. I believe they're knocking that down, and if rumors are right, they're going to put a Costco over there with a gas station, a nice, good-sized Costco. But before that, to the east of that, is where Circuit City was. That is got to be a huge piece of property on a main road, and that would be an enhancement to, I believe that. And again, if the people there don't want it, that's I don't want to cause any trouble. But that would be an enhancement to that community, because when these meets happen, all the local restaurants on 22 would benefit from that. So that would be a heck of a rateable in an area that is already commercial. This is a residential area. And again, I don't know if you were referring to my letter to the editor, because I wrote the same thing. But it really isn't. It's not a NIMBY thing. Not in my backyard. It's not in anybody's backyard. Nobody would want this in their backyard. And I challenge a person, even the principals of the BAC, to tell me they would want to look out their bedroom window or their back porch and see a 51,000 square foot building in their backyard. I mean, you have to, I don't think we have anything in town that's 51,000 square feet, a single building. It is huge, and again, it's not residential. It's not, you won't even hear the sound of kids playing because it's indoors. You know, it's not like it's a ballpark where you hear the kids playing, and there are plenty of places for it. I mean, we're on the outlying area of the rest of the Garden State. With you know, in west of here, there's some pretty big areas. So if you had a little more, you know, west on 78, where there's development, where there's not houses, it's fine. So people have to travel. Most of the letters we're getting in town hall are not from Berkeley Heights residents in opposition to this. There was a letter that was in the competition, in the independent press, that was from a lady in Cranford. You know, so I'd like to know how many Berkeley Heights families really use the BAC or are members of the BAC. I was told it was only like 16, 18 that actually families that use it, that are members of it, with a lot of other kids using it for different competition and different clubs. So you know, it seems like we're going through a lot of work on an election, a lot of expense for a select few. There's 5,200 families in Berkeley Heights. If only 50, let's say, belong to it, you know, that's 1% of the population we're going through this expense for. That's not right.
Yeah, and I guess, are there any issues or any aspects of it that we haven't talked about yet that you think the voters should know before they go into vote on May 7th?
Well, it is the one chance you have. And so, you know, if you know, and they say it's a special election so people don't come out, this is an important election because it may affect your pocketbook and your wallet. And if it does and you don't vote, then shame on you. I'll be very blunt, and I know that people will say something, but if you don't vote, you know, and you have about 7 days now to get an absentee ballot, and if you send it out today, tomorrow it comes back in about 4 days, so you can do it by absentee ballot. You can do it last minute by driving it down to Westfield or Elizabeth, but you know, or make plans to come out and vote, and you know, let your voice be heard. I mean, we're coming up to Memorial Day, and any election, any vote is about having your voice heard, and you know, there are people who sacrifice, so we preserve that right. If you don't do it, then live with the consequences, because it's the one chance, and the voters will be done. I mean, if the voters vote for it, then you know, Joe Bruno says okay, and I will you know, there's nothing much more I can do about it. So if you whatever you feel, that's the time, the one day you get to exercise it, and don't let it pass. Mark it down in your calendar. Polls are open, I think, from 6:30 to 8 or 6 to 8, and just get out and vote. It takes you 3 minutes to vote.
Yeah, and I think that, you know, there's quite a bit of information out there. I know each side has a website. We're getting a ton of letters to the editor at the Alternative Press, both for and against. So I encourage people to check those websites, read the letters to the editor, find out the information that's out there, so that people can make, you know, an informed and educated decision. And I appreciate, Mayor, you being on with us today.
One more thing, Mike.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
This Wednesday, we do have a 3-party debate at the Columbia Middle School. It'll be a member of the BAC, a member of Stop the Back, and a member of the council. I will not be there because I'm going to the New Jersey Conference of Mayors, but Mr. Woodruff will represent me there, speaking on behalf of myself and the council. So again, I believe that's 7 or 7:30 at Columbia. People need to check the time on that. But I think if you really want to get informed, it'll be a good hour and a half of discussion about it. So that's the best place to get the information.
It should be pretty entertaining, I think.
Yeah, I would be. I would think so too.
Well, thank you again, Mayor, for being on.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. We'll be right back after this short commercial break.
Coming home can be hard if you're a veteran of Iraq or Afghanistan. You may feel like you're all alone, but you're not alone. At IAVA.org, your fellow vets are all around you. Join our free online community, get the resources you need, and connect to other vets who know where you're coming from. IAVA.org. We've got your back.
Welcome back to This Week in Berkeley Heights. Joining us in the studio are Scott Demerit and Ann Christensen from Massage Envy in Berkeley Heights. Welcome back to the show.
Hi, thank you so much for having us.
Hi, Mike.
Great to see you again.
Good to see you.
So, Ann, can you talk a little bit about how long you've been in business here in Berkeley Heights?
Sure, Mike. So we opened towards the end of December, and we opened ostensibly selling gift cards. It was a slow build, so we really wanted to get acquainted with the neighborhood and to partner with the community. And since December, we've done a grand opening. And we now have over 15 people on our staff, so we can accommodate walk-ins and phone calls. And what we wanted to do was start slow and build our staff and really meet the needs of the community.
That's great. Can you talk a little bit about the services that you offer?
Sure, sure. Well, at Massage Envy, Mike, what we strive to do is offer convenient, affordable massages and facials. And really what that boils down to is making it tangible for everybody. So I think in the past, the illusion has been that massages are frou-frou or luxury items. But in fact, therapeutic massage is very useful. And that's Massage Envy's mission and vision, is to make it convenient and affordable. So we offer massages. We actually do an introductory rate for a 60-minute massage at $49, or we offer an introductory rate at facials at $59. So we offer both massages and facials at our location. And
can you talk a little bit about any promotions that you currently have running?
Yeah, well, Mother's Day is coming up on May 12th. We're very excited. As I said earlier, we opened in December selling gift cards, and we're going to continue selling gift cards for Mother's Day. So for our Mother's Day promotion, we actually have a lovely promotion for the giftor or the giftee. And that promotion is basically if you buy a $99 gift card, then you will receive, again, if you choose to keep it as the giftor, more than welcome to do that, you'll receive a 30-minute upgrade to an existing service. So let's say you went and bought Mom a gift card at $99. We, in turn, would give you a 30-minute upgrade, and you could book a service and get a 30-minute upgrade, do a 90-minute massage, half an hour on us, or you could give that to Mom.
Well, that sounds pretty good. Let's see if we can get Scott in here a little bit. Can you talk a little bit about where you're located?
We're located on Springfield Ave. The address is actually 402-404 Springfield Ave. It's in the Stop and Shop Center, Berkeley Heights Shopping Center. Our phone number is 908-464-0070. And we always have a full staff ready to take appointments. We're open 96 hours a week, 8 a.m. to 10 p.m. Monday through Saturday, and 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. on Sunday. So it's anybody can get a massage in that time frame. We have plenty of availability to accommodate walk-ins as well.
And in terms of your location, I know it's in the Stop and Shop Plaza there. Can you give some kind of closer location? It's what, a door or two down from like Goodman's Deli for people that are...
Goodman's Deli is right next door to us.
Okay, great.
And on the other side would be East.
And
so
Pet Value,
Pet Value,
a lovely
exactly.
pet store. So, you know, I always joke with our clients who come in and I say, this is truly one-stop shopping. You can go grocery shopping, you can go to dinner, you can order takeout, and you can go to the pet store all at the same time, and also have a massage. Definitely,
right.
Work in the massage or the facial.
So the big question is, do you go eat first and then get the massage, or do you get the massage first and then go eat? You know, do you have any advice there?
Entirely up to you. I'll tell you what. You know, some people really enjoy relaxing prior to their meal. Other people enjoy eating their meal and then using a massage to wind down or a facial to wind down. Massages have, again, great therapeutic value. They can be very invigorating. So if you were to come in the beginning of the day, it could be very invigorating. Again, you know, if you came before or after dinner, depending on what your need was, we could accommodate that. So what we do when you come in for a massage is we actually sit with you and we customize each and every session. So it's not a cookie cutter or by any means, you know, in-out massage. We sit with you, we try to understand what your needs are. So if you said to me, hey, I'm going to go order some takeout food, I just want to kind of like mellow out a little bit, we could customize the massage to meet your needs. And then you could go get dinner.
You can't beat that, right? Is there anything that we haven't talked about that you wanted to mention?
Just, you know, that we're just thrilled to be in Berkeley Heights. We find the people in Berkeley Heights absolutely wonderful and lovely, and all the surrounding communities. It is truly our goal as owners of Massage Envy and also as franchisees of this wonderful brand to partner with the community and really to provide, again, convenient, affordable massages and to partner on the pathway of wellness and to basically break through the myth that massage is a luxury item, because while it is awfully luxurious, it does have wonderful therapeutic value. And by making it convenient and affordable and introducing people to that concept and educating them about the values of massage, we are really excited about the opportunity.
Absolutely.
Well, that sounds good. Well, thanks so much for being on the show.
Thank you, Mike. We totally
Thanks, Mike.
appreciate you
Appreciate
having,
having
us.
us.
Thank you.
We'll be right back after this short commercial break.
Every year, I take promising high schoolers on a college tour to show them that higher education means a brighter future. My name is Nnamdi Asamoah. I don't just wear the shirt, I live it.
You can be a reader, tutor, or mentor too. Take the pledge at liveunited.org/volunteer.
Do you wear this?
This has been This Week in Berkeley Heights, brought to you in part by thealternativepress.com, Berkeley Heights' locally owned and operated online daily newspaper. Special thanks to the Berkeley Heights Communications Committee and the Governor Livingston TV crew for their hard work and dedication in making this show happen. And thank you to you, our viewers. For these and other local news stories, visit thealternativepress.com 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Sign up on the site to receive your news via email. Have a news tip or suggestion? Email editor@thealternativepress.com or call 908-279-0303. Until next time, for thealternativepress.com, I'm Michael Shapiro. Good night, Berkeley Heights.
Tonight's broadcast is made possible by a generous donation from the Berkeley Heights 5K charity road race and fitness walk. To learn more, go to berkeleyheightsfivek.com.